Hello everyone, it's me, B Dragon Sonic, here today with the Season 15 preview. We're starting out with the calendar, and it's Beijing from Marina Bay, Baku, Sao Paulo, then we go to Mexico City, Long Beach, Monaco, Spa, Melbourne, Montreal, Las Vegas, Austin, Texas, Jeddah, London, Yas Island, Abuja, and then it's Bucharest and Manila. That's right, we have basically the exact same calendar as Season 1, apart from the last 4 rounds of the season. And now let's get to the teams. They look different to how they appeared in the intro, but it's okay. It's Renault Edams, finally with a new livery. That isn't all that new. It's actually their end of Season 1 livery. In the driver's seats are still Milrez in the 6th, the Swedish driver, currently performing very well, hopefully trying to get some wins, and Bob, the sleeper ahead of last season. Then it's DS Andretti. There's a red one on that car for a reason. Sebastian Ocampo left last season as the World Drivers' Champion with his teammate Daniel Balcazar alongside him, being lost in the drivers' standings somehow. They've got this nice blue car for this season based off of the Season 3 Amlin Andretti. So hopefully they can get something good out of this season. Then it's Braun Honda Grand Prix. Going back to their roots somewhat when it comes to the livery, they've gone for this. It's more green than it is yellow this time. And honestly, I think it works better. UK Ball is still in the 89 with David Camino alongside. Last season was quite awful. Hopefully, they can get something done. Then it's Toyota Gazoo Racing taking over the Roden Motorsport outfit. They've got a lot more red on the car, a lot more white, but still that black from their Roden days. It's still Yuki Suro in the 19 and Dav Sanchez in the 72. Then it's Hyperdrive Racing, using the Japan special livery because they just thought it looked nice, and you know what? I can't blame them. This is incredible. And at Bamness is in the 14 with Revo in the 7. They pulled out some good results at the end of last season, but they need a lot more than that if they're to win another championship. Then it's Mercedes Formula E team, who have had quite a lot of drama in the off-season. They've now lost the driver who could have won them this season's championship, and he's left alongside the team principal. Lawless Leclerc is in the 16 with iWorld in the 21. That's the first rookie name you're going to see. And this livery harkens back to when Mercedes first appeared on the grid back in Season 2. Then it's Jaguar. They had a sleeper hit of the season, finishing off in P3. They've got Salas Kynes in the 55 and Pastor Maldonado in the 99. Hopefully they can pull up something as incredible as last season again. And then it's Pinnacle Formula E team. These guys truly came alive in the second half of last season, getting home 2 race wins, 1 apiece for the drivers. Akari is in the 10, with his teammate still being Leo, especially considering this livery is a combination of the liveries they ran last season, and also just a little bit of something new. Then it's Skoda Volkswagen Formula E team, and after the 2 seasons that didn't really seem all too good, they've gone with a more white car this time. They're still forced to use green because white's taken by Toyota. MF1 World in the 91 with Theodore Schumacher alongside him, as it has been for a while. Then it's Nissan Nismo. New team on the grid using the Season 7 Cherry Blossom Nissan livery. And I gotta say, it's as good as it first appeared. Vashichantan makes his debut alongside another debutant, T. Gabo. And then it's Lamborghini Mako, finally using that gold scheme that everyone wanted to see. Last season was a season of highs and a season of lows. Jacko Zagranas once again bringing many of those highs, and Marcus Nelson once again bringing many of those lows. So let's head down to Jeddah for the preseason test. there will be music playing instead of actual race audio this time. It's Akari from Ocampo and Revo. Then it's UK Ball, Jaco Tigranes, and MF1 World. Pastor Maldonado starts 7th with Bob alongside. Then it's Vashi Tiantan and Yuki Suo. Aina Banner starts 11th from Daniel Bogdasarov and Marcus Nelson. 13th for the 13. It's Daf Sanchez, Salos Kynes, iWorld, then T. Gabo, Lawless Leclerc, David Camino, Milrez, Leo, and Theodore Schumacher. I'm going to have to get over that stutter. Season 15 is going to have a more spread out release schedule, but hopefully for the drivers, they don't mind. All 5 lights go on. And we go green. And that's a very even start from the front too, as it always is. Ocampo seemingly getting a worse second phase of the start, with Ravo now being in contention of taking second away from the DS Andretti car, and he does take it away from him. And that number 1 really not helping his chances of winning, because remember, he's actually got the heaviest number out there. They've had to actually paint it. What they usually do is just use a little bit of vinyl, but when you've got the red on there, vinyl won't cut it most of the time. No collisions coming through that first part of the track. It's completely unheard of. Revo got past Akari. Akari's back through. And it's a shortened distance for the preseason. Just going to touch on some of the new liveries here. Pinnacle Formula E team, it's actually based off of the Venturi livery that was seen in Season 2, and then again in Season 12. No, Season 10, I think. Yeah, Season 10 is when Venturi returned. Although I'm not too sure if Venturi actually used the checkered flag design in that season. Anyway, it's great to see some memories of all the seasons come back. Then it's Hyperdrive Racing Sonic Frontiers inspired livery. And we saw this run in Japan last season, and it's still absolutely a beautiful car to see on track. Then you've got Lamborghini Mako taking their old livery and just going, you know what? Let's just make it gold. And I don't see why they didn't do that. It's genuinely a good looking car. Bogdasarov with a time penalty further back in his Andretti car that's gone from red to blue. And they were going to do it anyway. Out of the race has gone Marcus Nelson. Ooh, that's a big shunt into the wall for him. But went out under VSC conditions. The Skoda Volkswagen went for a more white livery, but still with a bit of that old Skoda green, and there's black on there as well. I'm not really too fussed about the livery. Renault Edam's going for the livery that gave B-Dragon Sonic his first ever World Drivers' Championship. Braun Honda trying to do something new yet old at the same time with their livery, and I do think it works somewhat. Toyota Gazoo Racing, using some inspiration from the Toyota Formula 1 project back in 2009. Nissan, it's just cherry blossoms on the car. It's actually just a really simple and striking and effective livery. And then Mercedes, they've taken the Mercedes stars you see on the F1 car, and they've blocked them out, and it's actually not too bad. Bob and MF1 World fighting over 5th position on lap 3 of 5. Sebastian Ocampo, he started on the front row, remember. He's dropped down to 7th. The medium tyres are much slower than the softs. As the 2 cars ahead of him, they're still going side by side, and out has gone MF1 World. You can actually finally see what causes the crash. It's mainly that they go side by side and they run out of room, so they're forced to hit the barrier. It's not too cool. It's not a great way to end your race, but that does mean that Skoda and Lamborghini are going to have a lot less data to work with compared with the rest of the teams. For those of you in the Discord server, you will get 15 million more to actually work with because of the gaps between races now. I'm going to give you more money for just competing. And that's just going to be at the start of the season now. It's not going to be like at the end. But now, Ravo debuting this new attack mode that will be used on some of the straights on the track in tandem with the attack charge. If you want to know which one the driver's using, attack mode is the red button on the left, attack charge is the red button on the right. On the penultimate lap of this preseason test, Pinnacle seems to be getting some good data out of the car, and it's another VSC. Babinus out, and that's also with actually Tian out. That was the car on top, and that's a very warm welcome into the Formula E, isn't it? Very warm welcome. I wouldn't be shocked if one of the drivers had a puncture or anything like that, but that's a lot of damage on Yuki Tsuo's car. They might get that repaired. I don't know if they'll be allowed to. If the next time around the pit lane entry's been closed, then that's just really unfortunate. The soft tyres, for the preseason test, the teams are really just testing out the new parts they've put onto the cars. It's from last season. Of course, a lot of it has been standardized now, but still teams are allowed to bring new parts to the cars, and we still have a preseason test for it just to make sure there's no kinks in the works, really. And, Pinnacle look pretty good. In terms of being consistent, I can see Jaguar once again being a very consistent, high-ranking team. As we're on to the final lap now, and Maldonado, he's fighting with Akari. This man lost out in the most honourable way last season. It was on the last lap. It's now Tigranes, for some reason, getting a time penalty for colliding with Revo, even though Revo legitimately just slammed into the wall, and he slammed himself into the wall and out of the preseason test. Fastest first sector going to Akari. He's not going to be able to send another fastest lap, sadly. And that means Hyperdrive Racing can't get too much data out of this race. Just not great. So still under the VSC conditions then. It's now ending after Milrez has passed that scene of the incident. And the yellow on that Renault Edam's car, it's actually a little bit more yellow. Like, it's a deeper yellow color than what they had last season. It was a little bit lighter, but rounding out the final two turns will be Akari to take home the preseason test. Don't know how we're going to call it. It's not really a race win, but I think the teams will take it as, okay, we've developed a good car. Now we just have to see it on track. And Ocampo, he's going to try and get past Bob here. And he hasn't. He's not managed that. Not the best showing for Andretti. Yeah, this preseason test. Probably even worse for Hyperdrive Racing. They came into season 14 hoping that they'd be champions, and they couldn't get it done. And this is the podium. Don't know why we have a podium, but yeah, it's Akari from Maldonado, from Bob, from Ocampo, from Tigranes, Ukable, Camino, Schumacher, the top 8. Then it's Sanchez, Kynes, Gabo, Suo, Bogdasarov, Leclerc, Leo, World, and Milrez. The finishers, the non-finishers were Revo, Babinus, Tan, and MF, One World, and Nelson. So yeah, see you guys next time then for the first round of Season 15, the anniversary season of the Formula E Monoposto Championship.